Today starts a new project that we've been talking about here for years in the garden. We're going to take this oasis of kind of nothingness, what it's been. It's become a big sandbox for the dogs. And we're going to reinvent it, give it a little bit of a facelift. Over the years, it was a pool. There was an above ground pool, fire pit, and today we're starting something new. Come along with us. So Ed is here with us to talk a little bit about the vision for this.
I had a vision of waking up and taking a shower, but our little puppy decided to go for a long walk, so I had to go in the car first. My bathing suit to look for her. So this is me. I have same clothes.
This is same clothes, different day. Yeah.
And
all right.
Anyway, this
so
is our
share
vision.
with us.
So what we're gonna have is a 20-foot round concrete stamp to match our other thing. Rudy is here. It's gonna match.
It's gonna match this.
It's gonna match this. Color's gonna match that. It's gonna match our garden beds. It's a nutmeg with a sealer over it, so it's going to be 20 feet round, and then I have a gazebo that's about 15 feet, so there'll be 2.5 feet on the side. It'll be up 10 feet, and then on the back side I'll have a little crushed walkway so we can walk there. This will still be the pea gravel here. There'll be concrete in here so you can walk down here. It's gonna be nice. That's the goal anyway.
So that is the goal.
That's the goal. There's our plants, kind of little thing. It's 6-sided, so it's 60 degrees, so all the sides are equal. And I'll mount it, drill it and mount it so the wind doesn't take it away and send it to Kansas. So that's the goal. We'll see how it works out.
Okay, here we go.
How do I look? Is it all right today? I just got out of bed, sorry. I got out of bed and ran across the field.
It's an early morning Saturday. Rudy's truck is here, and we
he's early.
Ready to go. And with that, Rudy and his crew began to excavate, which there wasn't a whole lot of work that was required, but he did, of course, have to level it and do all those things that one must do to ensure that when you're pouring concrete on top of it, it will be sturdy for many, many years to come. So they spent a good portion of this morning making the frame, getting the rebar, and doing all of that, knowing that it would be a couple of more days before the concrete truck could arrive because of timing, and you know how all that goes in construction, the best made plans sometimes. But it was fairly simple on this particular day of them getting everything together, and so that he was totally, absolutely ready for the concrete trucks to arrive. Good morning. Well, it is concrete pour day, and the rebar is down, and the truck should be here any minute. It's exciting. And here is the rebar down. And it's a lovely blue. I've never seen blue rebar before, and I love it. All right, just waiting for the concrete truck to arrive. And arrive it did. And I don't know, ever since I was a little girl, I loved seeing concrete. We have this running joke in our household. Is it concrete? Is it cement? Or is it cement? Yeah. I'm just calling it concrete for this video, and I just love watching a concrete truck.
Nope.
Now, as you notice, the concrete was going into wheelbarrows because the way our yard is set up and the garden area and how you get back to this particular spot, there was just no way to get the truck back there to directly pour in, so they had to take it in one wheelbarrow at a time, and I thought that might take a lot more time than it actually did. And they went pretty smoothly, pretty quickly. And as we watched this dream come to life. And really, that's the best way I can describe it. I thought about the times that we had when that was a pool, it was a fire pit, and the many memories that we had with that, and the new memories that would come to pass. Now, I also thought about, as we planned for this, we were going to put a fountain there. We were going to, like, so many things. As you dream in your garden, you think about all the things that you want. And sometimes you just have to make a decision to move forward, because putting in an in-ground pool would have been $80,000 at least. All the options that were there, we had to really go with economics. At the end of the day, economics does really matter. And we also knew that we needed a covered patio area in our garden because we don't have one. The patio that's right against the house is too close to the house, and if we put a cover on it, it would have blocked out too much sunlight. It would have been awkward. It just would have messed up the architecture of the house. So by doing it this way, we're going to have this patio and this gazebo right in the middle of our garden area, so that we can, either have dinner parties out there or a host of things that we'll do once the gazebo gets put on there, and that we have that out in the garden. But quickly, as it all came together, the vision that I pretty much had fully came to life. So here it is in its nakedness, as I like to call it, before they did any treatment to it. You can see there's the molds over there to do the stamping.
Yeah, that's great.
But first we had to set up the lines. Concrete needs to be divided to ensure it won't crack and those kind of things, to be able to have proper drainage off of it. So we spent some time debating where to put the lines, and I imagined it like sun rays coming off the middle of it. So instead of having just functional lines, there's Ed helping out the guys, doing what he does best, and that is just kind of thinking things through and looking what to do next. And so they measured it out. What would it be like? What would it look like? What were the right dimensions to get this vision that Ed knew that I had in my head to bring it to life? So before we could stamp, this piece had to be done to get the lines into the concrete while it was still wet. You have a good couple of hours with concrete before it starts to set, so they had some time to sit and really figure out how it would look best before they started the stamping process, which is, of course, a process all into itself. So they're doing this, and then they'll smooth it down as soon as they finished getting all the lines together. And again, I just want to give a huge shout out to Rudy and his crew, because they were just on the job getting it done. This is the second project he's done for us, and we're just really delighted with the workmanship, the craftsmanship, and how quickly everything seems to get done. So, and how he listens to us in hearing what we want.
Yeah, wherever it's
and
better
with
for
any
the,
good contractor, I believe, of what we want, but
as long
then
as
what
it, like,
makes
it
the most
ends- it
sense
comes
to make
across
it
where
the
the
most
line
durable for
ends.
many years
Yeah.
to come. So again, we talked it through, we looked
where
at
the line
it,
in, where the,
and
whatever
then
this line comes
it
to,
was
that's where I'd like
ready
that line to come
for them to
Does that make
smooth it
sense?
out and to get the stamping done. Now the next step of this was to put on this release agent. It was like a sand, very dusty. Biggest mistake I made not knowing this is that I would have covered all my plants right there, because they did have a layer of dust all over them between this process and when the wind came up during the day, because this had to sit on there. Once they stamped it, I'll show you that here in a sec, but it was quite messy. The whole garden actually got kind of messy with this process. but it also helps in the slipping. You know, sometimes you go on patios, they're very slick. Well, this will keep our patio from being slick because now it has this sand texture in it that will keep that. Now here comes the molds for the tile that they're going to, or the, you know, to make it look slate-like. And so one by one, they put these different patterns on, and it was just really, again, fascinating to watch how this plain concrete, which again, I am so happy we did that on the pathway we showed you earlier, that we did last year, and I knew that I'd want to do this again because just straight concrete is kind of, I don't know, it's not the prettiest thing. Even though this is, you know, a colored concrete, I really wanted it to have more texture to it. So there goes more of that sand agent down, and then as they put it down, they work together to do the different elements of making it look like slate. And it was really fascinating to see how the four of them made all this happen, pounding down the pattern as you can see here. And again, very dusty and very, there was a lot of things flying in the air. But just like that, he lifted it up. And they were on to the next one, pouring more of the sand agent down and just onward till they got it completed. I would ask you, if there's something like this, a project in your garden that you've been wanting to do, what maybe has slowed it down or made it not possible? I mean, I know money's always a contingent in some of this, but we were able to find it not as cost prohibitive as we thought it would be. And again, they just continued on getting these tiles down, and it was lovely. Especially because they worked as artisans together to make it actually look like slate, and using different patterns and forms to make that all happen. There is an artistry with this kind of work that sometimes we forget in the process, and we so appreciated this crew. So there we go. Here comes the last piece, and I'll tell you, we're going to leave this video this week at this piece. We had to wait a couple more days to get the sealant done because you have to seal it, it has to dry, and all of that. Ed had to go out of town, and so we will come back in a couple of weeks and show you where it's at. And with that, we will also be sharing with you the gazebo. And as Ed and my brother-in-law Bill build the gazebo together, they are going to take on that task. So please be sure to subscribe, like, do all those things. Please leave any comments and thoughts that you have about this project. And if you are considering doing anything like this in your garden, and then we will come back in a couple of weeks to finish this up. And thanks so much. Onward we grow. Thanks for growing with us. And we will see you next time. And in the meantime, be sure to like, comment, let us know what really resonated for you in this video. And then, of course, be sure to subscribe at no cost to you and be updated when we have new videos up to play.